Life with a dog in Stevens Point is pretty awesome, right? But imagine if it could be even better. What if your dog could handle anything? A walk on the Green Circle Trail, a busy day downtown, with total confidence. Well, that's exactly where the right training comes into play. So let's talk about how to find that perfect support to help you and your dog really enjoy your life here together.
Just picture it for a second. A nice, relaxing walk on the Green Circle Trail. Your dog's trotting right beside you, not bothered at all by the cyclists whizzing by or other people out for a stroll. That's the kind of calm confidence we're talking about, and it's totally achievable with good training.
Or, how about this? You're walking down a busy sidewalk on Division Street. All that noise, all those people, and your dog is just calm and focused on you. That's what good training is all about, preparing you both for these real-world situations you face every day.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll cover why training specifically for this area matters. Then, we'll help you figure out your goals, walk through your training options, and talk about how to pick the right professional. And we'll wrap it all up with some great local spots where you can put your new skills to the test.
Okay, let's start with training for Stevens Point, because this isn't just about learning commands in a vacuum, it's about getting your dog ready for the specific places and situations you'll actually be in around here.
You know, at the end of the day, training is so much more than sit or stay. It's really about building this incredible partnership that just works for your life, right here in central Wisconsin, whether you're hitting the trails or just walking around your own block. So, where do you even start? Well, that brings us to Section 2, figuring out your goals. Before you even think about looking for a trainer, you gotta have a clear idea of what you actually want to accomplish. And I mean, really think about it for a minute. What are the top 1 or 2 things you want to fix? Is it the jumping on guests every time the doorbell rings? The constant pulling on the leash? Knowing what you're aiming for is the most important first step.
Chances are your needs fall into one of these 3 big buckets. For a new puppy, you're all about the essentials, right? Socialization, potty training, the basics. For an older dog, maybe it's just general obedience to make daily life easier. But for those tougher issues, like reactivity or anxiety, you're looking at behavior modification. Knowing which bucket you're in helps narrow that search down a lot.
All right, moving on to Section 3, your training options. Let's look at the different ways you can get training and, of course, what you can expect to pay.
You've basically got 2 main paths. Group classes, they're amazing for socialization and teaching your dog to focus with other dogs around. But if your biggest headaches are happening at home, like your dog going crazy at the window or charging the front door, then in-home training is perfect, because the pro can see the problem right where it happens.
And here's a rough idea of what things cost around Stevens Point. As you can see, it varies quite a bit. A group class for a few weeks might run you a couple $100. On the other end, something really intensive like a board and train program is a much bigger investment. This should give you a good ballpark for planning your budget. Okay, this next part is huge. Choosing the right professional. This is all about finding someone who's qualified, humane, and just a good fit for you and your dog.
So, one of the first things you should look for is a commitment to positive reinforcement. This is a modern, science-backed approach. It's all about rewarding the behaviors you want to see more of. Basically, you're teaching your dog what to do instead of just punishing them for what you don't want them to do. It builds trust, and it works.
Here's a simple little checklist you can follow. First, make sure they use positive methods. Second, look at their credentials. Third, ask a lot of good questions. We'll get to those in a second. And last, make sure they'll give you a written plan so everybody's clear on the goals.
Yeah, when you start looking at trainer websites, you're going to see a whole bunch of letters after their name. It can feel like alphabet soup, right? So let's quickly decode the most common certifications you'll probably see around here.
This one, CPDTK, is a really big deal. See, dog training isn't a regulated industry, so anyone can call themselves a trainer. A certification like this means they've put in hundreds of hours of work and passed a serious, independent exam on animal behavior. It's a strong sign they know their stuff.
And here's another excellent one to look for. KPA-CTP means the trainer went through a very intensive, hands-on program that's all about positive reinforcement. Seeing these letters tells you they're skilled in modern, humane training techniques. Okay, so when you're actually talking to a trainer, here's your cheat sheet. And seriously, don't be shy about asking these questions. A true professional will be happy to explain their methods and show you their credentials. Asking how you'll track progress and if you'll get homework is a great way to make sure they're accountable and have a clear plan.
Okay, last section. Let's bring this all home and talk about practice. Because the real learning doesn't just happen in a 1-hour class, it happens out in your everyday life.
Once you have those foundational skills, it's time to take them out into the real world. The Green Circle Trail? It's perfect for this. You can find a nice wide section and just practice your loose leash walking, rewarding your dog every time they choose to focus on you instead of a passing biker.
Biffner Pioneer Park offers a totally different set of challenges. You can work on just chilling out on a mat while people walk by on the riverfront path, or you can practice polite greetings from a safe distance during one of the community events.
And hey, don't forget about Bulkelt Park. The parking lot itself is a great place to practice getting out of the car calmly. And those big open fields are fantastic for working on recall with a long leash, which gives your dog some freedom while you stay in control.
It all comes down to this: a mix of humane methods, practicing a little bit every day, and taking those skills out into the real world, right here in Stevens Point. That's the recipe for raising a dog who's just a joy to be around.
You know, the right training just opens up your world. It means more peaceful walks, less stress when you have guests over, and just the confidence to bring your dog along on more of your adventures. We hope this helps you find the perfect training partner for your journey so you can focus on all the fun you're going to have together.